Hello guys, welcome to another video of DevOps. In this video, we are going to discuss about creating the Bicep template and deploying them to Azure, or creating the resources in Azure using Bicep and deploying the same with Azure DevOps pipelines. We have the Bicep templates and Bicep files along with parameter files. We have the Azure DevOps environment where we will create the CI/CD pipelines, and we have the Microsoft Azure environment where we don't have any resource groups created at the moment, and any we don't have any resource available in this Azure environment. Okay, so first we'll be creating the resource group, and we'll be creating one storage and storage account inside that. If you have projects similar like that, you should or you might have some requirement to create the resource group and create multiple resources related to your project inside Microsoft Azure using either Azure Bicep, ARM templates, or Terraform, or similar kind of languages which you can use to create the resources. Okay, I have already made multiple videos about Terraform as well and Bicep templates. But in this video, we'll be doing hands-on of deploying this template directly into the Microsoft Azure. Basically, using this template to create the infra resources in Microsoft Azure. Okay, using Azure Bicep. You can follow the same template or same process for ARM templates as well, because they are similar, and both are for Microsoft Azure. Okay, the deployment process is similar for Azure Bicep and templates. Okay, this is my repository bicep-01. I have created simple templates. I will just explain you. This is my main.bicep, and this is the file which you need to create if you want to deploy resources using Bicep. Here we have defined the scope, because we'll be deploying this resources at subscription level, because we are creating one resource group here, and resource group should be created at subscription level here in Azure. The next ones are parameters, the parameters which we need and which we are taking from this parameters dot JSON file in the runtime. Okay, these parameters will be using in the template, and this code we have created, we have written to do this for, or to create the resource group. Okay, you can see resource new RG. This is the resource type and API version, and these are the properties, name and location needed to create the resource group. If you need more details about Bicep templates and Bicep modules, Bicep structure, you can refer my previous videos on Bicep. I have created multiple videos about it. Okay, if you don't know, here in portal you can also open VS Code, install the extension. Suppose this is VS Code, install the Bicep extension, and you can also start working on in here. Suppose just go here and search for Bicep. This extension you will have to install, and you can simply go ahead and create the files easily with this Bicep extension. This will make life easy to create the resources or create the configuration using Bicep. Okay, this is done. We are creating the resource group, and next one is module. We are calling this a storage account module to create the storage account. Okay, this is the name, and the scope is new resource group. That means it will create inside this resource group. So first this will create the resource, and second it will create the storage account, because we have given the scope here as well, here as new RG. So this will create the implicit dependency between each of them. If we had added depends on here, this will create the explicit dependency. But since we have not added, we are just depending this scope on this new RG. This created implicit dependency, and we are supplying the parameters from here. These two parameters, storage location and storage name, is being used inside this template file, that is modules storage.bicep. You can see this storage location and storage name is being used here inside this storage.bicep, and this is the code which will create the storage account of SKU as standard and storage inside this storage location, and this is our storage account name. These all things we are creating it, getting it from the parameters. So if you are preparing your bicep file, that should be inside this format. Okay, there should be one main.bicep file which you will call from your pipeline, and this main.bicep file can internally call multiple modules or multiple resources directly from this main.bicep. Okay, you can create the modules inside modules folder, and you can store all the templates, bicep templates here, and you can call each of them directly from the main.bicep, which similar something like this, which where we have just call this or inserted this storage account module here in the main.bicep. Once this is done, the next thing you will have to create is parameters.json, or you can also create parameters.bicep, but for now we have created this parameters.json, and you can see we have just added these four parameters: resource group name, resource group location, storage name, and storage location. These are all four parameters. If you see in main.bicep, we have defined it here. So we will be taking it from the parameters file. We have hard coded it. You can provide the default value as well and get the value from pipeline or somewhere else. Okay. The resource group name is bicep-rg-01. Resource group location is TOS. Storage account name is this one, and storage location is TOS. So this bicep template should first create the resource group inside east-west region, and this should create one storage account as well in the same resource group in east-west region. Okay, we'll be deploying this template by creating one pipeline. Let me go to pipeline. Create the new pipeline and select your Git repository. Let me select mine. First bicep-01. This is the repository, and we will be creating the starter pipeline because we don't have anything inside this repository to deploy the resources, bicep resources. Okay, let's set the trigger as none because we don't want to trigger this pipeline automatically. Pool is fine. You want to latest, that is Azure pipeline pool, and here in the steps you'll have to add the steps which can be used to deploy the resources in Azure. Okay, the first one is you can run this what if command, bicep what if command, or you can just directly deploy this template. Okay, from here task we just ARM template deployment, you will have to use this task, Azure Resource Manager template deployment. If you don't want to use it from here, just click on show assistant and search this task, ARM template deployment. Here you will have to select the deployment scope. Since you are or we are creating the resource group as well, this should be subscription, because resource group is a subscription level resource. If you create something inside resource group, like if you are creating storage account, function app, web apps, or something like that, you should be selecting the deployment scope as a resource group. But in this case, we'll be selecting the subscription because we are creating the resource group as well. Select the service connection. This is my ARM service connection. You can create it by going into the project setting. Okay, let me now select the subscription. This is my subscription. Location is East US. Here you will have to provide the template path. Template location is linked artifact. You will have to pass the template path. The template path is main.bicep, so just type the main.bicep here. This is inside root folder, that's why we have given just the main.bicep. If this is inside some folder, you just type something like this. Okay, we don't need to provide that. Template parameters, let me pass the parameter file, parameters.json. This is my parameter file. If you have to override template parameters, suppose this is for the parameters which we have hard coded here is for development environment, and if you need to deploy the same resources in different environment like QA, pre-production and production, then all these parameters will be changed, right? The value should be different for different environments. So using this override parameter or template parameters, you can override all these parameters for the new environment or the environment where you are deploying the template using this override template parameters option. Okay, but we are just doing it for demo, so we don't need to override. Deployment mode is incremental, complete and validation only. If you want to just validate your template, you can just run this, or if you want to deploy into incremental or complete mode, you can select it. So we will be deploying into the incremental mode. Now click on advanced. If you want to provide deployment name and outputs, you can do that, or this is enough to deploy the template, you can just simply add it. Okay, so we have added the task to deploy our Azure Resource Manager template. You can see directly into the Azure. You can either save it and run it. Let me just click on save and run this pipeline and check if this works or not. We are running this pipeline for first time, so let's provide the permission. So this pipeline is running, maybe it will take some time. So let's go ahead and edit this pipeline and try to see different other ways to deploy the bicep template. Okay, let me just quickly comment it out. You can also deploy this using shell script task, Azure PowerShell task, Azure CLI task, or even simple plain PowerShell task. Suppose you want to run this with Azure CLI. Select your service connection, script type. If you have PowerShell script or PowerShell core, you can select it. You can provide a script path or just simply type the inline script. So to deploy the resources in Azure, we have some command Azure deployment. If you just type it, Azure deployment group create or subscription create. So just simply type Azure deployment or Azure deployment group. But you should be using this command if you are creating the resources inside Azure resource group. That means your target scope should always be resource group, then only this command is going to work. Okay, if you are deploying the things in subscription level or management group level, you should not be using this. You can using different command, which is Azure deployment sub sub create. Okay, this will start the deployment at subscription scope. Okay, you can directly use this command. You can run the what if as well. What if is like Terraform plan, which will first dry run the template and check if there are any issues with the template or not. It will show you all the modifications as well, like what are the things being modified, and if everything is okay, then it will deploy the resources directly inside the Azure. Let me check. So this pipeline is complete. You can see this, I think, has created the resources. Started deployment. Deployment is complete. Let's now go ahead and check the resources in Azure. Let me go to the resource group. Yeah, you can see the resource group which we are creating is bicep-rg-01 has been created. If you see the activity log, this should be created just now with our pipeline. You can see this is just completed 2 minutes ago. And if you click on overview, there should be one resource created inside it, that is storage account, which we had written the template for. The same storage account, ADO test STUS 01. This is the storage account which we have created, and these are successfully deployed here in Microsoft Azure. Okay, so this is how you can use Bicep and Azure pipelines to create the template and deploy them with CI/CD pipelines. You can automate it in multiple different ways and deploy them. Okay, so this is one way to deploy your ARM templates or Bicep and create the resources using them. And the other one which I just told you to add the Azure CLI task, Azure deployment group create command or Azure deployment sub create command, something like this. Suppose you can copy this. You can copy this and just type it. Azure deployment sub create location is east US. We'll just provide the template path. We don't have template URL, so we'll be just supplying the template path. So this is my template file. Okay, this is my template file. The template name is main dot bicep. Parameters name is my parameters dot JSON. So if you run this command, this will also create the resources directly in Azure. So before doing this, we generally add the run this what if command. So this will show you what are the things will be done if you run this bicep script. You can see this will simply run the what if command, which will show you how you can create the resources using the commands. Okay, let me just try adding the create as well. Simply between what if and create, just type the create in what if command. Okay, and everything will be same. Just validate and save it and run this. So this will do the same thing which this task has done, but this will also give you what if output, so that you'll be able to see what are the changes or what is the update this bicep will do if we just run this pipeline. I have re-triggered this. Let me just quickly check how this works. Since we have the resources created already, the pipeline will complete successfully, but it will not update or do anything because we have not added any updates inside our template configuration file. So this will just simply run the pipeline and do this stop. At the moment, this is running the first Azure CLI task, and after this will go ahead and run the second one, that is create. So the first will run the what if. You can see this is completed, and it is saying that resource and property changes are indicated with this symbol, that is no change. So nothing is being changed. You can see resource changes to no change. Since we have the configuration file and the state of the resources in Microsoft Azure is same, nothing is changed, that's why there is no change. And again, this will deploy the resources as well. Basically, this will create the resources with create command. So we are running two commands to deploy the bicep from pipeline using the command line or Azure CLI or PowerShell or any type of command, either shell scripting as well. You can run this command Azure group or this Azure CLI one if you have to deploy the resources at subscription level, and it will deploy the resources for you. Okay, if you have to create the resources only in resource group, then you should be using Azure deployment group command. Azure deployment group what if, and the properties or the all these things will be same, and even in create command everything is same, just the command name is changed from what if to create. Okay, so this pipeline will deploy the resources in Azure. We just have created this bicep-rg-01 resource group and this storage account in Azure using Bicep. So this is the process you can use to write the bicep using this flow, and deploy this bicep using the CI/CD pipelines by adding these tasks which I just explained you. Okay, so we have covered everything about bicep, how we can deploy the bicep in Azure, how we can write the configuration file, basically what are the configuration file structure, and we created CI/CD pipeline to deploy the same in our Microsoft Azure environment, which you can see has been created. That's it from this video. If you liked it, please like and subscribe my channel. If you have any feedback or suggestions, please let me know in the comments. Thanks for watching.